Welcome to Motorhome Rehab Ranch. Do you have a GMC? Would you like to have one or just learn more about them? You're in the right place. And a special shout out to my ranch hands that help us support us by paying for the videos and asking questions and working on their coach. If you'd like to be a member, a ranch hand, at the end of this video we'll talk more about that. We're specifically devoted to the GMC Motorhome built from 1973 to 1978 only, okay? So let's get into something that may help you understand a little bit more about the GMC. What do you think? Hey guys, it's Jim Bounds of Co-op Motor Works and Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and probably know what this is, right? Dash AC heat control panel. No one ever figured that a vacuum system would work 45 years. That's why these don't work. Up until recently, if we got hot air out of it when it was cold outside and cold air when it was hot, we were probably lucky. We don't do this anymore. We got a bunch of these. Matter of fact, if you need one, if this panel here is broke, these usually break, we got a bunch of these. We change it to a new one. So listen. There's 90-something videos up there now. It's getting crazy. And I noticed, I was looking at them, there's a lot of stuff about mechanical, okay? And why is that? Well, that's because that's what people are asking about. But you know, the motorhome, I mean, you know, it's got exterior and interior. This one we set up, this was a twin bed designed back in the 90s of a Royale. We turned it into a 12-passenger wine tour bus for upper New York. So there's a lot of stuff like that going on. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'll do videos on that too. But it seems like, you know, most of the questions that we're getting are mechanical. So we're going to stick into there. So I'm just listening to what you want, okay? All right, so guy calls up. This thing's been running great, but it just stopped. It just stopped on the road. I'm dead. What do I do? Good question. Good question. What do you do? Run, Forrest? No. Okay. So what's the basic thing? What do you first do? You're driving along, radio's playing, air conditioner's going, and all of a sudden, poof, it just dies. Everything stops. Pull over to the side of the road. You got one hit on the brakes. Motor won't start. Nothing happens. You call me. What do I do? Okay. First thing I want you to do, turn on your headlights. Turn on the headlights. Yeah, turn on the headlights. Because the headlights are hot wired directly to the battery. Okay? So if the headlights work, that means your battery works. Okay? If the headlights don't work, come on up here, Scarlett. I want to show you guys something. There is a fusible link right here. This little black wire right here. It's got a little tape right here on it. This is a fusible link. Your engine electrical system is right here. Right here, this is the horn relay. The horn relay, right here, has power coming from the battery into here, and from here, this wire furnishes the fuse box, okay? So if this fuse link, this is a fail-safe, that if something really shorts out, it's gonna blow, and it's been there 45 years. But if something happens, this will blow. How do you know it's blown? Because your headlights won't work, okay? Right here. 45-year-old fusible link. All the current to your fuse box goes through this one fuse, this one wire. We take this out. I'm going to show you what we do. We want to have something in here that if it does blow, we know it. We want to put a fuse in here, a large gauge 40 amp fuse. This is a fail-safe, okay? Guy called me over one day just like that. I'm driving along and it just stopped. He just left here. He was like 1.5 miles from me. So I went up there with a set of jumpers, and the Edgewood police was there. You know, Eddie Edgewood was all excited. They were in the way and all this. I walked up there and said, turn the headlights on. Didn't work. Put the jumper on. Turn them on. It worked. Fired up. Cop goes, how'd you do that? Fusible link blew. Every one of your coaches has a fusible link right there. Let me go show you what we do to them, okay? Come on inside the big house. All right, so we're inside. This coach I built, actually I was involved in the build 20 years ago. New owner bought it and wanted to do all the mechanicals, and that's what we're doing. Now, on the electrical system on this, as you look at it, it doesn't look very much at all like what you've got. We rewire. What we find is this is what people want. This has got a Semlac combiner. We get rid of the isolator because your battery will never charge fully because that thing pulls 0.8 volts. Okay. Each one of the batteries has its own shut off. Look, if you have a fire, chances are it's going to be an electrically ignited fire. How do you stop an electrically ignited class C fire? You turn off the power. Boom, boom, and run. So your batteries need to be switched. These are Blue Sea sealed marine switches, okay? And let me come over here. Right here, you can see it's a heavy gauge fuse holder. It goes right here to the vehicle battery positive, and it comes over. Now we've changed a whole bunch of stuff, but this comes over and goes to over here to the harness that goes to the horn relay. We're using a new horn relay here. We get rid of the ones out there. Here's our fuse box here. Okay, but this fuse right here is your fail-safe. If all else fails, this will pop, and then you'll see it pop. You'll try the headlights and they won't work. You go, yep, it's popped, change the fuse, and you're back on the road. Make sense? So, along with a whole bunch of other wiring. Now this harness still used the original AGC fuse box. We didn't change to an ATC, but we modified it in and hooked all the primary power wiring into the original harness, okay? We've added the circuits here to make it more logical. We've got the combiner. We have, rather than having that resettable 85 amp Sure Power circuit breaker, resettable one, we put breakers on here that when it pops, you can see it's popped. Or if you're going to sit there for a long time, you can turn them off. Fused. All your main circuits need to be fused. You need circuit breakers, you need fuses. If something goes wrong, you need to be able to find it. Okay? So, what do you do when all your power goes away? Check your headlights. Check your fusible link. Now, if you check all that and it still doesn't work, and you got to get home, all right? On the neutral safety switch on the bottom of the steering column inside, neutral safety switch, there's one connector with two purple wires on it, okay? That's the neutral safety. One of the wires goes to your ignition switch, the other wire goes directly to your starter. So if you have a jumper and you go from the purple wire to your battery, the engine will start. If you take a wire and go from your battery to your distributor, right? Hot wire the distributor, and you have a carburetor, it'll fire up. It'll fire up on those two wires and you can go home. Nothing else will work. You may have had a problem. The alternator light trigger circuit could have melted your harness. Other problems somewhere else, but remember, you're on the road. You got to get going. So you can hot wire the engine, you can hot wire the starter, and you can get off the side of the road. Okay? That's how you do it. As far as electrically, now, I mean, your diagnostic tree, fuel, how you do that? You turn it over and you hit the throttle and you look down the carburetor. Is there fuel in there? If there is no, then you got to have some fuel. If you have fuel, and you turn it over and you check to see if you have fire. Take a spark plug wire out and see if it sparks. If you have no fire, hot wire the distributor. Try it again. Does it have fire? If not, then you have a distributor issue. The whole idea is, what is your diagnostic tree? On a carburetor, it's fuel, fire, or mechanical. Okay? Now, if you have a fuel injection system that's segregated, where you have a separate distributor, you can still use your diagnostic tree, fuel, fire, and mechanical. If you have an integrated fuel injection system where the distributor talks to the fuel injection, now you got another problem. If the fuel injection fails, your distributor will not get any power. So in that case, you could hot wire, well, no, you're done. Get on a truck. That's why we don't want to use an integrated system. We want a segregated system where you can see if you have fuel, if you have fire, and it should start. Okay? Try to keep your diagnostic tree simple so when it does fail, you can get that horse back up and run it again. Right? That's what the thing's all about. All right, well look, I wanted to talk about this because last week I had several people fail, and we went through this, and it was funny. You guys, when you call me and we work on a problem, call me back and let me know what happened. I said, you know, you get it running, and you say, that's fantastic, I'm out of here. But I'm still saying, how'd it go? What's happening? Are you okay? Did it burn up? Call me back. Let me know how it goes. I'm excited. Maybe something I did not know that you can help me understand, then I can pass it on. All right? So give me a call. Give me input as to how your coach is doing, things that are happening, things you want to learn about, you know, stuff like that. That's what this place is for. Co-op Motorworks has reshifted where there are a lot of people that can do paint. And they do a good job, and if they know basic stuff, they can do it. A lot of people can do interiors. There's a lot of contractors out there, and they can do things. But the mechanicals, brother, the mechanicals are the things that have to be right. You need these things to happen. And that's what the co-op, that's what our queue and our process is mainly looking at now are mechanicals. All the mechanicals, okay? That's why we're doing the videos on a lot of mechanicals, but believe me, you still got to sit in the seat. So look, you want to talk about seats or furnace or air conditioner or carpet, let me know. We'll talk about that stuff too. Each one of these things has a 101, and you need some basic knowledge before you start into it. You say, well, I can do a floor. You don't want to use a slat board floor that is those huge slats. You want small ones because you're in tight. You got to cut in that floor. You don't want those big ones. Hard to cut in. Also, your floor is not flat, it's bowed. So if you start putting in those big ones, they won't lock in. That's the kind of stuff that I want to help you with, okay? All right, so I hope you got something out of this, and thanks for your time. Thanks for you ranch hands helping us out. Things are coming together. We're delivering another coach today. Here, Scarlett, just turn it over here. This coach right here is going to Holland. Being delivered today. I've known this coach for well over 30 years. Original built was by a NASA engineer out at the Cape. He had that thing, loved it to death, was a club member, all of that, but he moved on, sold it, and this guy bought it. These folks live in Holland. They've come over after COVID to finally pick up their machine and take it home, and I'm excited. Another one leaves. Awesome. So thank you for helping. Thank you for getting us through this, and we're going to come out. We're already, it's crazy. Thank you. See you next time.